Hey, so welcome back. It's been a while. This isn't a recap. This is more of a rant because Married at First Sight was definitely rantable. If that's not even a word, but we're gonna make it a word today. I mean, like the shenanigans of it all last night. Primarily, you know what we're gonna talk about. Hurricane Michaela and Zachary. And she loves to like Zachary. It's like she met somebody that finally his name is Zachary. I'm not gonna give him a nickname. I'm not gonna honor him with a nickname. I'm gonna call him Zachary. But to me at this point, Michaela is an actress. She has to be. Like that's the only way I can make it make sense in my mind. Like Michaela, I mean, like the performance she gave to Dr. Pepper is like if you're not acting, you are definitely certifiable. Like you cannot be that self unaware that you can't own one single thing that you did wrong in this situation with Zach. Now, mind you, I don't think Zach is an angel. I think Zach is someone who triggers people who aren't used to being with people from balanced lifestyles. So I'm not saying he antagonizes Michaela, but I will say he doesn't know how to navigate that sort of personality because he's not used to that. And I know many people have said it, and I've said it many times before. Like, he's from a nice family who probably doesn't argue a lot. And she's from a volatile family. She said it. Her parents used to curse. But the fact that she sat right down in front of Dr. Pepper and said that it triggered her abandonment issues, that, he left her and he didn't want her to go. And it's like, Michaela, we all saw last week's footage. And I'm so glad they rolled those beam footage. I'm so glad that they rolled it because it's like, dude, it's like she's Rick James, talking about denying that he did all those things to Eddie Murphy's couch, and then they rolled it back. Yeah, I did all that to Eddie Murphy's couch. It's like, Michaela, you told him to leave. You said, okay, bye, go, bye. It's like, Michaela, do you not remember that? Do you not remember storming through that Airbnb barn, like knocking over the foosball table, knocking over the ping pong, knocking over the bench, and like production having to pull you back? But you said that was a panic attack? Listen, that wasn't a panic attack. I've had like mild panic attacks. Like I remember in the gym when I was stressed out over my job, I got off of the treadmill or the elliptical and I couldn't move. That's a panic attack. You can't move. You're just like, you're stopped because you're paralyzed. A panic attack isn't raging through a barn, knocking over things and yelling and cursing at the top of your lungs. That, my friend, is not a panic attack. And for you to say that to Dr. Pepper, and like Dr. Pepper is sitting there as if she hasn't seen the footage or hasn't heard from production. And it's like Dr. Pepper is there so she won't get fined. Because she knows this is all some BS. I mean, that's probably why she's been MIA pretty much the whole season. Because it's like, this is some BS. Like, what we're selling is not real. We're making a TV show. And these people are casualties of the TV show. And that goes to Johnny and Bao, which also triggered me. Like, first of all, Bao read her vulnerable letter about how she grew up in a trailer, and she took Johnny to where she grew up, and there's nothing there, like, because it's a trailer community. So now all that's left is the tree where she used to swing. Now, part of me was like, is this true, Bao? Bao, are you acting? But then she was like, Johnny don't even deserve to hear my story, which he doesn't, because Johnny is a jerk. Johnny has made up his mind that I don't like Bao, and I'm gonna make sure Bao looks bad the entire season or this entire time that I'm with Bao. Now, mind you, I don't think Bao's an angel either. Like, Bao is definitely very calculated, but I don't see her as this villain that he's making her out to be, because if she was this villain, production would have aired it. It's like production clearly is airing Mira, so to speak, as a villain or as the problem in the relationship. So if Bao is all these things that you're saying, Johnny, then why don't they have footage of it? Like they don't even have an inkling of it. Like even though they're letting Michaela off the hook with all her antics in a sense, they're still showing it. Even though Rachel and Jose are acting like they have this perfect relationship. They've shown the problems. They've yet to show the problems about. So, Johnny, we need you to show us. Like, where is your scooter, Johnny? Where is it? Like, cause I don't see it. Like, I see Bao as being very. My dog is going crazy right here. I gotta let her out. Let me pause. So I let my dog out. So I'm back. Okay, so they're not showing Bao in any light of being this this um the sinister character that he's portrayed her. Like he talked to her so-called best friend, and on Unfiltered he said he's been friends with this same girl, I think her name was April, for 15 years. Like he's known April, he's closer to April than he had been to Bao in the last 15 years. But it's like first of all, she's not your friend. Like she is not your friend, Bao. I wanted them to bring April on so she can get a good ass whipping. Cause like for real, and I don't condone violence, but it's like, girl, you're not my friend if you're saying, well, I would never hook her up with any of my friends. Now, mind you, I have friends that I say, like, I could never date her. Like, she's my friend, but I'm not going to bash her to her husband, her boyfriend, and say that, she tears people down to rebuild them. That's exactly what Johnny's been doing about. He's been tearing her down to not even rebuild her, just to tear her down. So it's like, Johnny is trash, and I've said that before. Johnny's just trash, and he is. And it's funny how, like, I know Iyanla would always say the thing that you're running from is who you become. Like, women are running from their fathers, but end up pretty much dating their fathers. But Johnny is running from this image of his father, and he has become his father. Like, he may not be an exact mirror of his father, but his behavior patterns are probably like that of his father, this angry, mean-spirited person. It's like, you don't have to be mean-spirited about, just step away, walk away. But he's like, well, if I like, they were sitting around after the meeting with Dr. Pepper, and Bao explained to him, like, look, I don't share things with April, was her name, her friend. I don't share things with her because she's negative. She would have said, just cut your losses, just just move on. And he's like, well, I'm not going to say anything else because it'll be damaging. What more can you say, Johnny? You have damaged her. You have not only called her, like, you've done everything to bring her down. Like, just say you don't like her and move. Like, you've already said you don't like her. You said they could have matched you with anybody in the world but Bao. And so it's like you're determined to make Bao look bad. Bao can make herself look bad on her own. Like, the camera can only shoot what the camera sees. So that brings me back to why hasn't production aired any of this bad stuff about Bao? Now, they did show Bao taking Johnny's food on one other episode, and when Johnny walked away, she was like, well, I'm just gonna eat this. But I mean, it's like, well deserved, Bao, eat his food. He didn't appreciate it, and he doesn't appreciate you. So Mira and Gil met with Dr. Pepper as well, like everybody else. However, Gil, it's always, well, Mira, what are you doing wrong in this relationship? It's never like, Mira, what do you want from Gil? And that's just what's so frustrating. And then he just makes these little jabs and digs at Mira being Debbie Downer, or, just being negative, Nancy. It's like, she just has a different opinion than you. She has a different lifestyle she's become accustomed to. It's not like she forgot where she came from. Like he said, it's like, I don't want her to forget where she came from. Like, she laid it out. This is where it came from. This is how I grew up, and I don't want to go back there. And why should you want to go back there? Speaking of which, it's funny, like, okay, so Gil said he grew up on this side of town that I am also familiar with in Houston. And he lived with his father, and he told the sad story of how his father essentially was killed, gunned down in front of him. And so, where was your mom? And then I saw on Unfiltered that Mira told a story about how he would do some bad things and he would take a cab to his mom's house. So I guess his mom has since gone back to Colombia. And because, the funny thing is, mind you, I know that Latinas come in all shapes and colors and sizes, and Hispanics come in all shapes, colors, and sizes, along with black people. But if you're walking down the street, I would have never known that Gil was Colombian until he started speaking Spanish. And that goes for his friend who came to the party. That's just another side note. However, Gil and Mira, they are the only couple that seems to be building a genuine relationship. And we've said this over and over again. However, essentially, I think the differences might break them up because Gil has this idea of who Mira is, or he has this idea and picture of what bougie is, and that doesn't align with his lifestyle. Like, it's like he's afraid or something to step his game up or something, because he keeps taking digs at her as if she's just being unreasonable, when it's like she's just living a middle class existence. She's a single woman with disposable income, and she's grown accustomed to that lifestyle, like so many single women who've been single throughout. From, if you're in your 30s and you have a decent career, you're going to have some disposable income, unless you just spend and it appears that Mira has her savings in order. She doesn't go beyond her means. She's just living the lifestyle she wants to live. But Gil constantly digs at that lifestyle. And we know that he's a fireman and she's an education, an administrator of sorts, or a trainer of teachers of something. She has a good paying job. And he probably makes $35,000-$40,000 tops. So I think that intimidation is what might essentially bring them to an end. Although, like, I mean, I know he has side gigs, so he has ambition. Like, he's been trying to get on Telemundo. Well, he's been on Telemundo training. So, I mean, maybe this is all just a storyline for the show. I don't know, but I'm getting tired of those digs. And that brings me to Rachel and Jose. Like, Jose is a ticking time bomb. It's like I'm just waiting for the hammer to drop. Like, he's a ticking time bomb, and he is not going to forgive Rachel for calling her ex when he locked her out the house. And I'm like, Rachel, that's the only person that you could have called to pick you up. Like, you don't have a best friend. Who you could have called anybody. Your mom couldn't come in an emergency to pick you up. Like, why your ex? Why'd you call him? The one who, I think, cheated on you, made you feel bad. You decided he's better than Jose. So, I mean, they might as well end it too. And it seems as though all the couples are going to end. And that brings me to Ryan and Brett. Now, their whole situation was, we know Ryan checked out week 1. He never showed any emotion. And he basically said, hey, in his letter, he spoke about his best friend dying and how sad that was for him. And I understand, because I've had a lot of loss this past year myself. So I understand and I sympathize with him. And then he said, I felt better in the last week than I've had in a long time. He didn't say, though, I felt better with Brett. He just said he's felt better this week than he's felt in a long time. And then he was like, on a lighter note, I married a stranger. So it's like, this was just one of his adventures. Because, Ryan is an adventure guy. Like, he has done it all. Like, everything they've done on the show, Ryan has done it before. Ryan fishes. Ryan does skeet shooting. Ryan does ATVing. Ryan did paddleboarding. Ryan has done it all. Ryan is a volleyball player. So marrying a stranger was another adventure for Ryan. But he was very disrespectful because he was caught on one of those dating apps. And as someone who's been on dating apps, if you matched with somebody, you were actively swiping. So the fact that you couldn't wait one more week, Ryan, that makes me give you the side eye, because I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. Like, hey, you're just not into her. But I feel like, honestly, though you're opposites, you could have worked out. I mean, mind you, you're not attracted to her, and typically men don't just become attracted. Like, women can, like, I'm not attracted to him. Oh, but he has a great personality. Oh my God, I'm in love. That doesn't happen with men often at all. If they're not attracted physically to a woman, they cannot be with this woman. But Ryan, that was foul of you to be out there like that. And he's like, well, look, I wasn't active. I was gonna wait till after decision day. Why couldn't you download the app after decision day. It's like 1 week. 1 week away. You couldn't wait 1 whole week. You had to get back. It's like he wants a date as soon as they say, that's a wrap. Season 13, over. Okay, I got a date. So, Ryan, side eye on you. But ultimately, this rant was supposed to be about Michaela and Zach and Johnny and Bao. And I just wish production would get it together and stop forcing these people throughout the season to stay together and to keep going back into trying, because it's like production, it makes the therapist, i.e. Dr. Pepper, and I guess Dr. Viviana, and I guess if you want to call Pastor Cal he's not a therapist, he's a counselor. It makes them look, it discredits them when they keep forcing an issue that puts these people in harm's way of being abused emotionally by other people. So tell me what you're thinking. Yeah, I'll be back one day. I don't know, maybe with a Wu-Tang review one day soon. Just haven't been motivated to do it. Been busy with work. But hey, consistency is key. Like and subscribe.